December 25th, 2005. It was a Christmas that I'll never forget. That Christmas changed my life forever. I got a bunch of toys and a bunch of video games and a bunch of things that I've always wanted on my Christmas list that year. But one gift stood out in particular. When I unwrapped it and seen the front cover of this video game, I knew right away I was going to be in for a fucking ride.
Resident Evil 4.
What's going on, everybody? Rickster here, bringing you a brand new video. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Resident Evil 4 remake. Now, this is my first time ever doing like a full-on formal review. I have done a couple reviews in the past, but they were just kind of like half-assed and just thrown together real quick. But this one I just thought I'd take a little bit more time to talk about, because as I've stated before in a few videos and some live streams, Resident Evil 4 is my favorite Resident Evil out of the entire franchise, and for good reasons. So I first got introduced to Resident Evil with Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 1. Didn't get really far. I was in the first area. Didn't know how to play the game at all. You know, I was a little kid at the time. Didn't know you had to use the D-pad to move. You know, I was still used to the PS2 or whatever. But then around Christmas time, I believe it was 2005. I'm trying to remember, but my mom had gotten me Resident Evil 4 on the PS2. And right away when I seen the cover, I just knew that this game was going to be just one hell of a fucking game, as a matter of fact. Same thing with Resident Evil 2. I was stuck in the first area for like a long time. I didn't know how to shoot my gun. I didn't know how to use my knife until I finally decided to look at the manual. And then I learned how to play the game. Then I got to the village fight and was getting my ass kicked by the villagers there. And then I took it to my grandfather's house, and I fell in love with the game ever since, because that was one game I used to always play with my grandpa, and that was one game we used to always just, we cherished, So, like I said before, this game has a special place in my heart. And when I found out that they were remaking it, I was fucking hyped. I was all for it. Not even gonna lie. A lot of people might have been skeptical, or like, oh my god, like they're gonna ruin it. Oh my god, look at Resident Evil 3 Remake. And if you look at other reviews now, they're saying that this game is probably the best remake that they've ever done so far. So, without further ado, let's get into the review. Alright, here we go. What I liked so far. Let's start with some positives here, alright? And I want to say my first positive is going to be on the graphics. Now, the Resident Evil engine, or the RE engine for short, is just fucking beautiful entirely, man. They started this engine out with Resident Evil 7. That's when it first debuted. Resident Evil 7 just looked beautiful as well. Then they used that engine as well for Resident Evil 2 Remake. Thought that game was amazing. The gore was just, out of this world. Resident Evil 3, looked good too. But I get into 4, and I think that they've done, so much, better of a job using this RE engine into this game, just because of the atmosphere and the settings and locations that you're going to be going in throughout this game. Now, you have 3 main locations, alright? You have the village, the castle, and the island. And out of all the areas that you go to in this game, I think the castle's probably my favorite. Just how it looks and the feel of it. It just feels so fucking eerie, and you walk around this castle and you just know it's always dark, and you just know something's not right, Same thing with the village, if it's your first time playing Resident Evil 4, if the remake's your first time playing a Resident Evil game, or just Resident Evil 4 in general, you'll get the feeling of something's not right with this village. Something's completely wrong. The people don't seem right. But, yeah, that's one thing I really loved, man, is that they knocked that out of the park with the graphics, in my opinion. Like I said, it's a creepy fucking game, man. It really is. Getting down to even the enemy designs. Now, I even think the Ganados, which is, short for, the villagers that are in the village area, and then you got the Zealots in the castle, and I think they're just called mercenaries, or I just call them the Islanders, or the mercenaries in the island area. They're just basically mercenaries, but the enemy design in this game, 100 times much more better than the original. I'll tell you that. the villagers in the village are just more fucking threatening than the original. A lot of the times, you get stuck on a bear trap. You'll see someone placing bear traps and shit. Then it leads up to them to combo you. It adds another level of strategy and like another like, it adds more tension to the game, and I think that's one thing that was kind of missing in the original, because in the original you had your kick that was just unfucking stoppable. You could just kick everybody in the crowd, everyone's gone. And in this game, yes, you could technically still do that, as you see on the screen, but it's not as super powerful as it was in the original. Same thing with like the shotguns, in my opinion. Like the shotguns, you used to just like absolutely like blow people away with that shotgun, but in this it's like you don't really do that now, and I kind of like that because, like I said, it adds more tension. And there were a few times where I got stuck on a bear trap and I would get killed because of it, because I didn't see the bear trap. And I think it's on my channel, even on one of my walkthroughs, or one of the episodes I did on this game, where I got stuck on a bear trap, or I got Dr. Salvador, the chainsaw guy, I got him stuck on a bear trap and I laughed at him, and then stepped like 2 feet to the left and then got stuck on one myself. While I was trying to take the bear trap out, he recovered and he fucking came up and got me with the chainsaw. You have a lot of old enemies that that come back from the original game. Like I said, you got Dr. Salvador, you got the Zealots, you got the Red Zealot wearing the red robe or whatever. You got the Garrador. The fucking Regenerators are just as more... Honestly, I think they're more terrifying in this game than the original. They're so much faster. Since they're so much faster, they're harder to hit their plagas. When you have the thermal scope, later on in the island portion. Then you get new enemies, like, the enemy with the big sledgehammer, and the guy with the crossbow or the Gatling gun, whatever the fuck you want to say, he's in the island as well. He's supposed to be replacing the minigun or the Gatling gun enemy from the original game. And then a lot of the areas too, like I'll say, like, a lot of areas looked super familiar and I knew right away where I was at, and a lot of areas just looked brand new, or they were just revamped, or they were just simply just like flipped around. Like, or if you go like to this one area, you usually it's called the Valley, I believe, and it's literally in the second like I want to say, like, as soon as you get done with the village fight and stuff, and you go to rescue Luis, that little area is just flip-flopped. Like, you start where you end off in the original, and I kind of like that. And some sections are like that in this game. I do like the side quests in this game as well. I think it adds more, gameplay, I guess you could say, or just... It gives you more to do than just have a linear story, and if it also helps you get, better resources for you in the long run. The spinels returned from the original game, except now you can get spinels and trade it with the merchant to get items and stuff. Like, you can get yellow herbs, you can get yellow gems, you can buy certain attaché cases, you can buy like certain weapons and like gunpowder and like just a whole bunch of shit you can buy with the spinels. And I thought they did that system really well. I do like the trading system. I didn't really get as much out of the trading system, like in terms of like getting everything, but I did get a lot of gunpowder in my first playthrough of the game. Now let's get into some negatives. So the negative, like, one of the negatives that I have is that the enemies are just fucking bullet sponges. I don't get why. I mean, I could see why some enemies, like the Garrador and the Regenerators, but if you're fighting a normal villager / ganado, or a zealot, or even like a mercenary, why does it take half a clip to, put them down? That's one thing I didn't like about this remake. It's like honestly, it's just a nitpick, really, because this game's like 10 out of 10 for me, man. I'm just gonna say that now. This game's a 10 out of 10 for me. But there are like some small nitpicks. Like, there's another one that I have too, where once you play it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But I don't get why in the remakes they make your character move super fucking slow. Like, if you're running, like, you're like not even going like 5 miles an hour, bro. Like, I wish I was like joking, bro, but it fucking feels that way. Like, you have a licker chasing you, for example, from Resident Evil 2, and you're fucking playing as Leon, and you're fucking like barely running like super fast, like you're just fucking like a casual jog. Like, no, and anyone in their right mind is out of that bitch. They're dipping, bro. They're fucking running out of that, dude. They're not gonna fucking sit there and speed walk and have a fucking, you know, have a race with you and shit, you know. That, you know, that's just the nitpick, you know, that I have, just a few. But other than that, guys, this game is like fucking 10 out of 10, man. This game is perfect to me. Like I said, just small nitpicks. Everything else is just fucking amazing to me. Yeah, they didn't bring back the U3, so what? No one even really liked the U3 boss fight anyways. I did like the Del Lago fight. I forgot to mention Del Lago. I honestly think they did this one better as well. I mean, the original, it's basically the same fucking thing, really, but I think it's better in here. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my review on Resident Evil 4. Like I said, 10 out of 10 for days for this game. And I'm probably even going to play some of it right now. So thank you guys for watching my review. And I'll see you guys in my Call of Duty rant video. Peace out, everyone.